All right, I think we're live. I think everyone's in the right place. If you're in the channel or if you're watching later, thanks for joining us. We're Adventures in Lollygagging, Genlab Alpha Edition. We're doing a little campaign using mutantyearzero. Specifically, we're using the Genlab Alpha book, which is a post-apocalyptic setting, but a very specific one set within a valley that has been closed off by these robotic sentinels and things called the Watchers, and everyone in the party is playing an animal mutant. So we are, what is it, session 4, I think? I think we're session 4, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And so last week we completed our first big mission.
Yes, we did.
And we also completed our first strategic turn. And we're going to kind of dive into some of that because that's, you guys kind of get to dictate what you're doing for this particular campaign. Like, you guys get to choose where you go. So before we get too far in, just do a quick rundown of your characters really quick, just who you are and like what you're playing really fast. So Ashley, we'll start with you.
I'm playing Helena 7. She's from the cat tribe. She is our healer of our group and a little bit of a lush.
Okay. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Long.
I'm McCloud 64, a Seer Fox, a youngin trying to make a name for himself.
Cool. With your stupid hat. Yeah. And Melissa.
I am playing Hamill 76. I am a Weasel hunter who is distraught after the Watchers just took her brother.
I mean, it was like a couple days ago. You can get over it at this point. Like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Derek, who you playing?
I'm Tchaikovsky 40, Chai for short, and I'm playing a grumpy old scavenger.
Nice. And you're a chameleon, right?
Yeah, forgot to mention that.
And Logan.
My name is Cujo 31. I'm the warrior of our group, I'm a Wolverine.
Okay. Nice. So we're going to just dive in. Last week, you all completed a very important mission. You were sort of a test mission on the one hand, because Truffaut, the leader of the resistance, was wanting to create kind of a multi-animal, multi-habitat cell, like a special group that can go from place to place, do different things, and not just be limited to their one specific habitat. So they wanted a kind of a multicultural, multi-animal cell, and you all were the recruits for that. You have many different skills, different abilities, different reasons for fighting, different interests, different things that you can bring to the table. And the first thing he wanted you to do, this big old bear, was to infiltrate the dog tribe, home of McCloud, in fact, and recover a machine-killing weapon, which we learned was an EMP rifle. Now, you managed to do this. You guys did this without fighting too. You managed to kind of infiltrate using just some guile and some intelligence, some stealth, and then some poison that Helena made. That Cujo was able to spike this strange Boston Terrier's coffee, who was holding the EMP rifle, and the Boston Terrier, incapable of resisting a cup of coffee, drank it all the way down and then collapsed and went out. So I think was it you, Helena, who climbed in later? Was that right?
Yes.
You climbed into that little scrap cabin and you collected not just the EMP rifle, but you collected a couple other things. We went over that, right?
I did, yes.
You did.
Yeah, we got
we got a literal grenade.
Yeah. You got let's see, you got what was it? You got a video camera,
A megaphone,
A megaphone.
hand grenade, a hockey helmet, and
Right.
then the actual EMP.
The video camera is going to require something else to power it. Let's see, the hockey helmet. Logan, what's your what's the stats on your hockey mask?
As far as I know, it's an armor rating of 3. I believe that's what you told me.
Yeah,
when
the
we
helmet.
played the other day.
Okay, the hockey helmet's the same thing. So it's probably one or the other. It's probably not both. The hand grenade. You succeeded on your comprehend tests, I think, for almost everything, right?
Everything but the video camera, I believe.
There
Okay.
was one item.
I think there was
that
one
we
you guys
didn't.
didn't get it. I'll give you the one, since that one you can't use anyway now until you get a battery to power it. I'll give you the other ones. So you got the hockey helmet, which you can give to somebody else, or you can keep it for yourself. This one's not like a Jason mask. It's more like a real modern day hockey helmet. So it's got the plastic reinforced helmet, and then maybe there's a visor, but it's clear. So you can give that to somebody else, and that is basically an armor 3. And remember that what you do is whenever you're rolling armor, you roll that many dice, and you see whether or not you kind of cancel stuff out. So if somebody does like 4 points of damage to you and you have an armor rating of 3, you roll 3 dice, and if you get any of those successes, you just sort of cancel out some of the damage. And then the hand grenade, I actually have the cards, by the way, the actual physical cards.
Nice.
The hand grenade is a light item, so remember that it only takes up half a line on your inventory. And that one, you have to use the shoot skill for it, so you probably want to give it to somebody who's got a decent shoot skill. Doesn't have any gear bonus, and it has a range of short. And if the attack is successful, it lands within near range of the target. If it's unsuccessful, it lands within short range, like right next to you. And the explosion has a blast power of 9 and weapon damage of 2. So you want to be careful with that. And then the megaphone is my favorite. When I was trying to describe it, I was trying to be like, how do I describe a megaphone without saying it's a megaphone? So I'm like, it looks like a big gun with a horn at the end. So this one, the megaphone gives you a +2 dominate to manipulate and intimidate. And actually for us, it's just dominate. Sorry. Since we're animals,
you just blast it in people's faces.
Yeah, since we're animals, we don't actually have the manipulate skill.
I really want to be like my little weasel with like a megaphone, so I can just like hide behind a tree and like sound really scary.
Become a ventriloquist.
Right.
It does say though it's only good in situations where raising your voice is actually relevant, so probably not a stealth mission. So the way comprehend works, by the way, is when you succeed to try to comprehend an artifact, which these are. If you're successful, if you get 1 success, you learn how to use it. If you get additional successes, you can teach somebody else how to use it. So I don't recall, if we could probably scroll up, but I don't recall whether or not you had a bunch of extra successes on it or not. But we'll say you can teach people. That's fine. I'm sure.
I remember rolling 11d6, but I don't remember why.
That was for the turn. The
Oh, that's
turn.
yeah, that's right.
Okay. So you managed to, getting back to the story then, you managed to get the gun and you got the hell out and you made it back to Truffaut's helicopter hideout, the kind of central location for the resistance. And so quickly, when you get there, you see that there's still Wildpaw and Truffaut are still around. Ringo's nowhere around. His feelings are too hurt from the meanness of Tchaikovsky, embarrassing him in front of the people he does business with.
You really need to
over
have
a banana peel.
It was, this guy has worked for years establishing these connections, and you just completely embarrassed him in front of everybody. But he's also, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's that smart. We'll see. But you get back to the helicopter. You manage to avoid drawing any sort of additional attention since you left. Had you stayed, it probably would have gone not as well. But you make it back to the helicopter. Truffaut's there, and you hand over the EMP rifle, and he's certainly proud and appreciative of your work. You give a kind of a basic debriefing of what went down. And he's making sure that you didn't blow the cover of Aldrin, who is kind of a key figure within the dog tribe where he can get some information from. And once you assuage him of any of those fears, he tells you all that you've earned a break. And that it's probably a good time now for you, after you do some planning, to head back to your habitats, lay low for a bit, split up again, go back home, take care of whatever it is, maintain appearances. Like the resistance is a covert operation still. So if suddenly you all are constantly just being seen together that might raise suspicions of informants in the different habitats. So he gives you some time, and he says, and you guys plan something to do in the ape habitat, but he gives you time to head back to your habitats first. So what we're gonna do, since one of the ways you get XP in this game is by advancing towards your big dream or dealing with your NPCs. I told everybody I was going to give you a solo scene. So basically something that you can do in your habitat, something dramatic, something drama, engaging with people, trying to do something for your NPCs, anything like that. So we're going to do those one at a time, see what's happening. Hey, Cat Grandpa, thanks for joining. So who wants to go first? Anybody wants to go first? We're just barely getting started right now. Get it? Barely? Because there's bears.
Terrible pun. I can go
You're
first.
A terrible pun. Okay. So Tchaikovsky, you head back.
Yep.
You head back to the reptile habitat. What's the reptile habitat look to you? I mean, it's a terrarium. That's pretty much all the info we get. But like, where does Tchaikovsky stay? Like, what's his den look like?
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of a description of it. Nice. So being older and set in his ways, Chai's den is set up to look like a museum. Now, since a lot of the reptile base is like tents, it's just like kind of circus looking tent with a lot of patchwork quilts on it because, he's got to make everything look pretty again. So his den's very worn out and shabby since everything's used and scavenged. Though everything is worn out and secondhand, he takes pride in his organization, his categorization skills, and he just loses a lot of his days just like maintaining his home and maintaining all of the artifacts that he has presented in there. So he also, while it's, presentable and kind of like take a tour and see like artifacts from another time or from another place. It also has like a bit of a homey feel, a lot of cushy sofas and armchairs.
Nice.
So yeah, you can just like hang out and that's basically his, in the center of his den, there's a big glass cage or a big glass, like think of like a museum thing. And it's empty, almost like it's waiting for something. It's like there's going to be his crown jewel there.
One day something's going in here.
Yeah.
An empty altar. Okay. Do you have an idea of what that's going to be? You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but
I have zero idea. Okay. I didn't realize that like things like a megaphone and a video camera could be artifacts, so I haven't thought about what would be his particular artifact he would want.
Dude, man, like packs of cigarettes are like there's some crazy things. There's like cartons of cigarettes, coffee packets are an artifact. Like
that explains Gagarin.
Yeah,
So if we walk in your den, we would just see this big, huge, empty glass thing, like right in the middle.
Pretty much, yeah, with like some like sofas and armchairs around, and then like just random knickknacks.
One day, yeah, a little stale pie. You don't know what to do. Okay. Who are your NPCs that you came up with during Season 0?
So I absolutely hate Luke Bryan. He stole many rare artifacts from me and got credit for finding them. And like,
nice.
He thinks he's the big dog in town, though he's a reptile. So pardon the
what kind of reptile is he?
That's a good question. I was gonna say like a Gila monster because they're just assholes.
Okay, Gila monster. Okay. Gila monster. Is it Gila monster? Gila monster. Gila monster?
I say Gila. I mean, tomato.
I think it's actually up for debate,
Let's spend the next hour and 45 minutes debating it. Everyone develop your theses and we'll compare. Okay. And then who is the one that you wanted to protect?
Yeah, so I need to protect Serge 07. So it's a warrior who's protected me many times when I've been unable to escape danger while I'm out scavenging. And so he's, excuse me, he's like this like wise old toad. Not wise, I guess, but like he's like this big like scarred up toad who's capable of leaping far distances. So he's always been able to protect me whenever I've not been able to protect myself.
Okay. So toads, I like toads and frogs in this game. Have you seen some of the artwork for them are pretty fantastic.
I have not.
Surge 07. Okay, so, and then your big dream we know is to find like that perfect artifact that.
Yep.
Okay.
Strike the tribe with awe.
All right. So here you have an opportunity because again, one of the ways you develop XP is by screwing with the NPC you hate, by doing something to defend or protect the NPC that you care about, or trying to advance your big dream. So basically, everyone's going to get a chance to do something in their habitats before they move on to like the next big mission and stuff like that. So Is there something that Chai would be doing? Because you guys have a couple weeks. Like the strategic turns each take a couple weeks or so, up to a month. It's all kind of abstracted a bit. So you're probably still going about your daily business. You're probably still going and doing your trading, whatever it is that Chai would normally do as a scavenger, or just straight up scavenging. But in the course of those weeks, when you're not on official resistance time, what are you trying to do?
So I was going to ask the group, the artifacts that we got beyond the EMP, did anybody have a particular desire for any of them? Because if not, I was just going to take the megaphone and the video camera and like hide them in my little museum house. Since they were stolen from Gagarin, I think that like those items in particular are probably going to draw attention, since how common are they? But if anybody wants one of those items, let me know.
I mean, in combat, if you were thinking about combat, really the helmet and the hand grenade have a direct impact. The megaphone is situational with dominate checks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean,
Then
I wasn't really touched. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring those back with me. I'm gonna hide the. So as much as I want to, I don't know if those are quite perfect enough to hit like my big dream, but also like I think that Chai would be intelligent enough to know that like if he went around boasting about these artifacts, somehow it would get back to Gagarin, because he knows how scavengers work. They're very he had stuff stolen from him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually hide both artifacts and like one of the sofas or in the armchairs. I'm just gonna like rip one of the patches off and like stuff it somewhere in there and then sew it back up.
Okay. Got it.
So that they're nice and hidden, but also safe. However, I do on my way back think I could protect Sergio 7. So like as I'm coming back to the reptile habitat, I'll like be foraging or whatever, and so I see Serge off in like the woods, or there's that swampy area that's kind of between us and the ape tribe. And so Serge would
that's
be
kind
out.
of part of where you live too. I think the terrarium kind of borders that wetland area.
Right. So that would be like the specific area that I'm at. And I'm just like, foraging for grub. And so I noticed that Serge, his favorite weapon is like this big, like gnarled tree root. It's like a club, but you can tell it was like the root of a big old tree. So it's, kind of crazy looking. So I'll notice that he's like trapped under like, like a downed tree. And there's like is it crocodile or alligators? That like whatever, one of the two.
Either one's
like,
fine.
Yeah, so they're advancing on him, and he can't reach his club because he's pinned down by this tree. So I'm going to actually use the megaphone and just make like some wild, like feral animal noise. I don't know what sounds chameleons make, but I'm going to definitely like boast it with that.
Are you both a chameleon and a ventriloquist? Because that would just be. Like...
I just imagine like I'm walking up to the scene and I see the like crocodile advancing on him, and I'm just going to be like, or whatever. Okay,
roll a dominate check. Roll it with a +2 because you're using the megaphone, right?
Okay. Yep.
I'm not going to give you the extra bonus because you're outnumbered since Surge is tucked under.
Okay.
But you're definitely a higher rank than a random critter out in the wild. This isn't. We'll say it's not a monster because monsters are a little different. But we'll say it's just like a beast that's moving around so that the dominate can work.
Sure.
So you can get a +1 for that as well. So give it a total of like +3 to your modification.
Okay.
And give it a roll. Let's see what you do.
And then, so it would be, so I had a 0 in dominate, but the megaphone and the higher tier gives me a 3 for the gear dice. Do I add anything for the instinct since that's what it's based off of, or no?
It should automatically roll instinct when you click the
gotcha. Okay.
The dominate button.
Ooh, well, that doesn't look right.
Actually, let me take a look. Did you use like the regular? So you're doing dominate.
And then I ticked it up until it was at 3.
Okay.
And then I hit the little dice next to it.
All right. So that definitely should work. You're good on instinct. Everything's there that should be.
I wonder if you have to have the box not active when you click the dice. That's my only guess, because like I just clicked it and then immediately clicked the roll button. I wonder if you have to click somewhere else to make it not an active window. I'm just going to try one more for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I mean, the roll didn't even go through properly, so it's strange.
I sent another one, but I think it's lagging.
Yeah. I mean, so many people are using Roll20.
Yeah.
So we had some lag last time.
Okay, so I noticed if you have like...
There we go.
Yeah, if you have the pop-up window, there's like the modify button when you change anything, try hitting the modify and then hit done.
Okay.
And then that usually will save it to the point where your new attribute points will go through, because I think if it's popped out, if you're just like adding or taking out points and then hitting the roll button, it doesn't actually save. So yeah, if you're adding points, hit modify and then hit done.
Okay.
All right, so you get the megaphone working, and you start shouting things at this crocodile that's lumbering up from the wetlands, and it's not a normal crocodile. It's got like mutations and sort of strange growths on it, but it does still seem to have kind of an understanding of there is a prey here that's trapped beneath, and so it's charging at it. You start shouting. Is there anything you particularly say?
No, I guess I would just try to make like sounds that would terrify a crocodile, and I have no idea what sounds a chameleon can make. So I guess just like guttural screeching or like grunting. That's a bird sound.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I get them all confused. Okay, and so Chai, you head back to you help Surge up, and he's very thankful. And the two of you head back to your habitat. You find a healer to kind of patch up his wounds and kind of go about your business for the rest of until you're called upon for your next mission.
Perfect.
Who wants to go next? You're all getting one of these.
I can go.
All right. So, Helena, you return back to the cat tribe, and you're hearing all sorts of sort of strange whispers about like people starting to question your sister's leadership. That they wonder whether or not that if she knows what she's doing. She seems fairly aloof and doesn't ever seem to want to take a side on anything. Is people see, regardless of what position people are taking on the idea of resistance versus watchers, there's definitely this sense that if she doesn't commit to one or the other, that she's just going to be kind of torn apart in two different directions. Not necessarily physically, but
Mm-hmm.
So what is Helena doing?
Helena at this point is going to be kind of listening for maybe who's being the biggest opposition against her sister, like who's being the most outspoken. And she'll invite them over for tea at her cabin. She does share a cabin with her sister.
Mm-hmm. Now, the person that ends up being the most outspoken and the most critical, not just of Octavia, but to Octavia's extended family and pack, which you're a part of, is Cicero 19, a person that you that just you're so frustrated with Cicero because they continue to sort of always take advantage of your materials, your potions, your brews. They're constantly showing up in your healing hut and trying to get your attention, trying to get you to spend your time on them. And the audacity of Cicero, after all of the help and aid that you've lend them over the time, is probably overwhelming. And so why don't you go ahead and if you're trying to invite Cicero over, you don't even have to roll anything for this. I think Cicero would just be excited that showing me attention. So what kind of cat is Cicero?
Cicero is a ragdoll.
Okay.
He's kind of froppy looking. He's got really short legs.
That's a ragdoll cat. I just Googled it. I had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking
I'm a
about.
dog person.
Yeah.
So.
Ragdolls have really short legs and they're just kind of derpy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this derpy looking ragdoll cat with these bright blue eyes comes knocking on whatever post-apocalyptic door you have to your healing shack. You invite them in. Is anybody else? Is this just the two of you?
It's just the two of us.
Okay. All right. So what are you trying to do here?
I want to kill him with some poison.
Okay.
Wow.
So
okay.
we gotta do this.
And straight for the jugular.
We got a couple things that we should probably take care of. So first, you need to actually try to brew some pots. So I'd imagine like you would have leading up to this point, you would have spent some time kind of collecting.
Well,
the
because like,
materials.
let's say I arrive back in town
Sure.
and I already hear this nonsense.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's not something this isn't new. This is something he's consistently done. And I'm tired of people attacking my sister. So very similarly to when I got denied at the gate, I stomp off into the wilderness myself.
Remind me to never make you mad.
Okay.
Just hike up the skirt and stomp off into the woods.
Yes, exactly. Very,
Okay.
prairie like. And
Okay, roll. I mean, and then what kind of? So, is there a specific potion that you're trying to make, or are you just kind of making one up on your own?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of a general, just what kind of nonsense can I possibly kill him with?
Something that slows the heart to a stop.
If you're gonna try to make a pot that just straight up kills somebody without you having to do anything else, and let's do a brew potions check. So
Okay.
we'll do that. And let me see if there's anything that might cover this in these specialists for brew potion. Okay, Ashley just going and being a murderer, just like that. I think Gabe's watching. He's probably.
See, he should be scared.
There is what's called a lethal potion. It inflicts D6 points of damage, and if the damage is great enough, the victim can be critically damaged, and you read them. Blah blah blah. Okay, so you're
Hey, if you connect, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you collect enough seeds from like what is it, apples and peaches, you can make cyanide.
True.
Does anybody else want to share any?
That's a lot of apple seeds.
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about apples again. Did we talk about apples in our game last night?
Let's not.
All right, so you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna roll a brew potions check. So
Okay.
it's just a straight up brew potions check, nothing special, and you're trying to make a lethal potion, and we'll see how it goes based upon what you roll.
Oh, it's an advanced roll, right?
Yeah, you got to punch these in manually.
Boom.
Yeah. So remember, you want to put the skill die and the skill die. How many skill you have in brew potions.
Yep.
Count those up, etc. And then hit the button up on the menu. Or the
Yeah, I did
header.
it correct the second time.
Nice.
All right.
That's
So.
2 6s.
Okay. So every success you roll creates 1 dose of the decoction. So you have 2, and you can store 2 of these. Now, do you want to give him? 2
Oh,
doses?
he's getting both doses.
He's getting the double dose.
Yeah.
Double tap.
So as you two come, as he comes in, like, what are you two talking about? Why this happens? Like, I imagine you probably already have everything prepped and ready to go.
Oh, yeah, I've got
What's
it
the
ready
small
to go.
talk? Let's talk.
Let's
talk. My name's Cicero. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
That's my Cicero name because he's gonna die in a second, and I never have to do it again.
Who are
she
you?
noticed that he has like a little cut on his cheek, and so she's sort of laying it on thick, like, "Oh, what did you manage to do while I was absent?"
Oh, well, I went out hunting and foraging. I managed to kill all sorts of strange creatures out in the wild, and
That's
very,
absolutely
very
wonderful.
heroic, if you ask me. Very heroic. You would be
and she
very
just-
impressed.
Interrupts him as she puts this like cup into his hands, as she grabs her own cup,
Oh,
and
not too thirsty. Perhaps with additional conversation, I might need to wet the palate a bit.
oh, she just wants it in his hands at this point because she knows that
Quite warm.
as he's talking, you can get him drinking.
Yes. So
And,
I led a hunting expedition to the north. We were at the base of the mountain. We saw the western forbidden zone up in the
wonderful.
sky next to us. The sun was coming down to the west. It was all very dangerous. We heard all manner of things once the sun went down. Insects, monsters, mutations, all wonderful, crazy things. And
frightening.
you'll never believe it, but in the middle of the night, some crazy creature came and just wandered into the camp, and if it wasn't for me and my quick thinking, I had a spear. I made it myself. You've seen me walking around with it before, and I just managed, and I stayed there, and I braced myself against one of the other cats. I can't remember them, but I said, "Stay still, I need you for extra support," and just thrust it in. Oh, it gets me exhausted just thinking about it. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a little bit bitter. That's interesting.
Trying
So,
to be
where
kind.
were you? You were gone for like a week. People were wondering. We thought you were taken by the Watchers. Yeah.
Nothing that exciting. I was just doing some basic scouting, getting some more herbs, prepping for.
Herbs, any interesting potions you've made recently? Any wonderful wonderful concoction?
I made a wonderful, absolutely. I'm getting really good at making my drinks,
Oh, that's wonderful. At least you have a skill. Your sister, I have to. Your sister, I have to say, I still don't understand what she brings to the tribe. I beg your pardon. I seem to be having
Do you know what my
call it a
sister?
frog in the throat, I think. Yes.
Oh, frog or chameleon?
I think frog. I think frog. So go ahead and roll those 2d6s to see how much damage you managed to do.
There's 1 and 2.
Okay, 7 points. That's certainly going to exceed. So we got to roll a critical injury. So go ahead and roll a d66. So basically 2d6s, and we'll take the first one for the 10, second one for the single.
So first, second.
54.
54.
Okay, so they have a damaged. They have a bruised. What is that? Bruised intestine. This is lethal. Roll a d6 to see how long it takes to die from. It would take them 2 hours to die from, and they suffer one rot point per hour until healed. And so
you gotta just keep conversation going for
Yeah.
another 2 hours.
after a certain point, they're looking very sheepish, and they're like, I have such a horrible pain in the abdomen. Helena, would you be a dear? And could you
Do you
do something?
different than
No.
normal?
I had usual chipmunk in the morning.
Oh. And she'll kind of like scurry over to, because she's got this, because how the cabin's set up is there's this large bed in the corner that she shares with her sister, because cats tend to just pile when they sleep. And there's a curtain that just kind of wraps around it for when she's out and about in the cabin.
Mhm.
And she has this large, just almost sort of like vanity hutch. And so it's got the large mirror, a beautiful tuft, ugly chair. And she sits herself down and she opens her drawers and she's slowly pulling out one leaf at a
It
time.
hurts very badly. You're being
I'm gonna
very
whip you up.
methodical.
Your health is very important to me. And she
that's
gets her
good to
mortar
hear.
and pestle and she's slowly just kind of mashing stuff together. And this is not a healing potion. She's making a sedative.
Yes, I could very much use something to dull the pain.
Yes, definitely.
Roll for your sedative potion. We'll assume you had materials. Okay. So you have 2 doses of sedative. So, is this... Am I going to be okay? Oh, God. Mother, is that you?
Honestly, it's probably just some gas, but let me give you some of this.
I've had gas before. This isn't gas. Oh, okay. Thank you. You're so... I think you should be a tribe elder. And starts drinking. I've always been very fond of you. And then they fall asleep.
Good.
And then within about 2 hours, as you're kind of checking the breathing, you can see that the breathing becomes increasingly labored. You kind of peek at the abdomen, and you can see there's all sorts of irritation, swelling, something internal, certainly. Whatever you did with the poison certainly did something to their intestines. And they stop breathing. What do you do with the body?
Oh, now is Helena's time to shine. Because he was my competition for healing within the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So Helena is going to go outside because there's always kind of like a patrol kind of around, not nearly intense as the dog tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll go and she'll snag someone. And coincidentally, his name is also Cicero.
What? Different
Yep.
number though, I imagine.
Yeah, he's Cicero like 32.
Okay.
And
Good day. Oh, my Cicero, Sam Lotlius.
and she's just
Kill this one too, so I don't have to do this, boss.
Cicero 19 came in because he was having some abdomen pains. We were just having some tea, and he's not breathing. Would you run and get my sister, please?
Oh, of course I will.
Can you get Octavia?
Oh yes, that's your sister. Yeah, and so they run and they fetch your sister and bring your sister over to your healing hut, and they walk inside, and there's Cicero, the other Cicero, bloated and distended and dead on your bed. So what are you doing?
Oh, he's not on my bed. He's still in the chair.
Oh, still in the chair.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you laid him down.
No, that'd be gross.
The rest of this is fine. But
I sleep in that. Are you crazy?
Yeah, he doesn't get that much comfort from me.
Oh, he just released his bowels all over that chair, though. You're just.
Oh.
I don't know if that...
I've cleaned that up before, probably.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay.
And Helena just looks at her sister, and thank you, Cicero. I believe we have it from here.
Okay. Top of the day. They back out, and then you and your sister conspire to get rid of the body together. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe you just eat it. Cats are actually one of the carnivores. I mean, why not, right?
Cannibalism is different from carnivorism.
I'll tell you.
I mean, they only do that really when there's not food around.
We'll call me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like this would negatively affect your like reputation as a healer. Of like, a guy came to my house and he died.
If we were playing Zweihinder, you would have like 1,000 corruption right now.
That's fine.
Just 1,000. It would be full on psycho. All right. Who wants to go next with their habitat scene?
I can go next.
Okay.
All right. So
moving back to the badger habitat proved a bit difficult for you and Cujo, because there was increased watcher and sentinel and drone presence all over the place. Roads were being completely blocked. Some badgers and scavengers were braving going up to these checkpoints and speaking with these sentinels, and many were getting through. Others were just randomly attacked and beaten. Some were just turned around. It almost seems arbitrary. But I think you all knowing what the two of you knowing what happened recently with the attack on the dog tribe probably don't push your luck any further. But all throughout the week, it's just you would see people kind of leave the habitat, and they would come back pissed off because they just turned back. Like, the sentinels are still there, the watchers are still there, there's increased drone presence in the sky, and it's a very, very irritating few weeks. As if it wasn't bad enough when they attacked on the wild dance, and if it wasn't bad enough when they abducted your brother, now they're just interfering with the regular goings on and functioning of the habitat. So what is Hamill doing during this time?
So Hamill is going to go back home. Oh, we lost. Yeah, Logan was frozen, so I think he may have had to like restart or something. So we're going to be out of order.
Oh, I look real weird.
Okay. So Hamill is going to go home. So when Hamill goes home, she is going to meet up with her parents. And so her parents are, her dad is Boitano 88 and her mom is Quan 98.
And what would Boitano do right
now? Be very upset. So the kind of expectation has been that Hamill is supposed to look out for Hamilton. And that was, Hamilton was injured. Hamilton really couldn't look out for himself. And so that was really her job as bigger sister, was to look out for him. So she is going home to a world of guilt trips, and this is your job, you're supposed to look out for him, how did you let this happen? And definitely all of the blame for this is landing square on Hamill's shoulders. It's not the Watchers, it's not that, it's Hamill's fault. So she's definitely going to go home to a very unwelcome, because not only did this happen, then Hamill kind of immediately took off and did something else. And so they've just been sitting and stewing in this anger over, their child being taken, and, their other one just sort of up and disappeared, and, kind of wasn't around to console them or comfort them or any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. And so what do you, I mean, is there something that you're looking to do to kind of change things, or something you're looking to do to?
Essentially she's going to kind of go with this is how they've always been, with her, that, she's sort of there to fill a role, but there's not necessarily a lot of kind of warmth in the relationship. So what she's kind of going to do instead, because her mission in life has been sort of nullified at this point, because she was supposed to be kind of finding a cure for him and kind of looking out for him. So instead she's going to go with kind of her other goal, which was that she hates Chelios, because he's kind of always been the big fighter, hunter, who is has bullied Hamilton, as they were younger, and so there's always been, kind of that hate relationship. So then she's just gonna turn that into a kind of hunt fest. So she's just going to go and do a ton of hunting and just kind of try to prove that she is still worthwhile, because at home she's seen as not being kind of worthwhile because she failed at her mission. But maybe she can just go do a lot of hunting and
Sure.
kind of get some meat for the family and the community, and other people in the community will kind of be a bit more receptive, so she'll feel a little bit better because she was able to do that.
Okay. Are you doing this all by yourself? Do you want to try to bring anybody with you?
I would say this is going to be a pretty, just got to go on my own and prove my worth, because if I bring anybody with me, then like, oh, you didn't really do it, they were just the ones that helped you. So
Sure. Okay.
this is
so
saving some face.
All right, so go ahead and roll your. I'm fixing up the cameras here really quick, but go ahead and roll your hunt shit while I'm doing that.
Let's see if I remember how to do this. So we've got, and I'm assuming that all of my stats would kind of be back full because I would have eaten and drank and done all of that.
Sure.
Okay.
Guys are seeing how the sausage is made really quick here. There we go.
Sorry for the mishap.
It's all
I don't know
good.
what had happened.
Fixed.
Cox, am I right?
Fine.
If only we knew someone that worked for Cox that could get our internet running.
It's
only
his internet wasn't working the other day either.
I know.
Oh.
There's so many people working from home. There's no hope.
Yeah. I don't have the dice up, so let me know how you did.
0 on my base dice, 1 on my skill dice.
Okay. You want to push that at all? Are you happy with just one success? It's a pretty weak success, if you ask me. I feel like if this is really trying to progress something, you probably should push that, right?
So it came up as a custom roll. So just to push it would just be to re-roll it again.
Just roll, yeah. Just roll minus the one success you already have.
I got another 6 on my second roll.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. So that lets you bring down 2d6 rations. So go ahead and roll 2d6, and that tells you how many rations you took.
$10.
Nice.
Okay, so you have 10 rations as you found what looks to have been what's commonly referred to as a grunter, which is this fairly large boar-like creature. You were fortunate enough to find them sleeping, and you were able to kind of take them out at long range before they were able to see you. and it took a little time to kind of break down the carcasses and stuff, but you were able to do that and drag them all the way back.
And Boichano and Quan are not impressed. So unfortunately, she's all worn out. Got some food stored up for everybody, but still.
And your parents are like,
crappy.
It's really nice that you brought us food, but you lost our son. So,
Yep.
I mean, not
pretty much.
really on the same wavelength. But all right.
Yep.
Okay. So then, Logan, do you want to do anything in the Badger Tribe while we're here in the Badger Tribe?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah.
I just kind of was disconnected for the last kind of few minutes, so I'm not entirely sure exactly.
So
what
basically, roadblocks. There's a bunch of there's a bigger Sentinel presence. If you recall, one of the missions I sent was I sent my Watchers out to the Badger Tribe to set up roadblocks, and so the roads and the trails are kind of being covered. There's a lot of checkpoint activity. People are trying to leave the habitat, but they're not being let out. That kind of thing. If you travel across country, you're fine, but like if you try to travel on any roads or trails, it's really difficult. So. What is Cujo trying to accomplish during his downtime before the next mission?
I will probably be heading back to my den, which is conjoined with
the shop, right?
Yeah, Gretzky's shop that he runs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back kind of in that area and kind of touch base with him, and then I'm gonna run into Chelios 24, unless we previously put him somewhere else. Who is going to be bringing back lots of things from his last hunt, and he's kind of talking to Gretzky about all these supplies that he has. And since the Watcher presence has become more and more common, he's demanding higher and higher prices for these hunts because he's putting a lot of risk into his hunts, he's claiming, and he's really nickel and diming Gretzky, and Gretzky's not in a great position financially to really come to terms with this.
Yeah, and like Chelios is just got back from a hunt with that little Weasel one, and she keeps it all for herself. You're lucky you're getting anything from me at all, Gretzky. You're lucky I'm selling to you at all. So definitely doesn't seem to be too dissuaded from that. So how are you gonna try? Are you gonna try to dominate him? Are you gonna try to do something else to to bring the prices down? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a dom roll.
Okay. So that'll be...
And I'm basically, so I'm basically going to go up to him. Chelios, you've been trying to nickel and dime us for way too long. We all need the food. You're supplying us the food so we can distribute it to the rest of the villagers. I know you're putting your life on the line here, but no one's asking you to do that. This is your choice to go out there. You don't need to exploit us in a time of crisis.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do
your roll.
I'm doing it without my mask on.
Okay.
With
if only you had that megaphone.
I know. No success. So
you push that?
Push it?
You can push. Because you're the aggressor in this situation, you can push it. He wouldn't be able to push it. I haven't rolled his roll yet, but he wouldn't be able to push his sense of motion.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Just hit the blue button on the.
I did. It's not going through. Okay.
It lags a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're lagging.
It's gonna like pop up like 10 times.
No problem. All right, I'm gonna roll Wild Paw as well. I'm using Wild Paw as just the. It's gonna pop up as Wild Paw, but I'm just using her character sheet.
Okay.
So yeah, he just kind of comes back at you, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's my choice, but it's you could go out, you're strong, you can go hunt too, but you choose not to. You want to find glory and fight and all sorts of things. I just want to make sure we're eating and things. I can't. I'm risking my life every day. If I go out there and risk my life, I deserve some kind of reward for that. What are you providing me, right? What's Gretzky providing me? They ain't providing me nothing, brother." I don't know what's going on with his voice, but it's fun.
Brother.
Hey, brother.
Amen, brother. So at this point, can I roll a new dominant? Oh,
it finally went through. So you've got no successes, and he got one success.
Okay.
So yeah, he's just like, the price is the price, and you better be happy I'll give you one at all, brother.
So at this point, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna look over at Gretzky and basically offer my assistance, and I'm gonna try and go out and help him kind of get some supply at no cost just because of what he's done for me.
Okay, so that'll take some time. If you want, you can do a quick roll. Why don't you roll like we could do like a know nature just to see if you know where to go. That kind of thing. Kind of understanding the best places to go for the best supplies and things. You can push that as well. I
nailed it.
Got it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got 2
fewer dice and you did better.
Yeah.
Got 2 successes, 1 failed, but the fail doesn't matter since you're not pushing. So yeah, you managed to find, maybe it's not the most elegant kill in the world, but you managed to bring back kind of similar amounts that Gretzky would need to kind of sustain himself in the shop over the coming days. All right, then we're finally going to go back to the dog tribe. And as you're traveling back to the dog tribe, McCloud, and you're in the market, kind of moving around a bit over the course of the coming days, you hear a lot of commotion. In fact, the Boston Terrier pack is up in arms over what they consider a personal affront. Gagarin has been seen multiple times actually leaving his cabin, which is shocking, and trying to get meetings with O'Donnell, the dog tribe leader, and a few times does actually disappear up into the 4th floor of the lodge, coming back still with anger, but see that anger is somewhat assuaged. There's all sorts of different rumors and stories about why or how or what happened. Some people are roughly around the truth of it, which is that some artifacts went missing, someone broke in. A couple people are called into question. So it's a lot of like the rough and tumble foxes and wolves, like the lower ranked folk that don't really do much. They're kind of called into question by some of the lodge guards, and kind of some of them come back beaten up and bruised. Others don't come back at all. So definitely seems to be a little bit on edge. There's also a lot of talk in the marketplace about a couple of the other habitats which have seen some increased watcher activity. You heard a little bit not only about the badger tribe, but also something awful went down at the rabbit habitat, as just massive amounts of sentinels and drones and some other type of big robotic massive machine came in. Some people hazard a guess at what it's called. Some people don't know. They just know it was bigger and stronger, and it was intense. And dozens of rabbits were slaughtered. Some of them were captured. But a lot of people are remarking how it's probably going to have, in the long run, the reverse effect than that with the watchers. Like, the rabbits already were so pissed off and angry. This isn't going to quell that anger. It's just going to inflame and enrage it even more. There's also talk about the rats too, but the rats, it's more of an issue where there's drones flying overhead, and so people are constantly seeing drones in the sky every time of the day, at night, in the morning, during the afternoon, and it's and some of the scavengers that sell to the market at the lodge don't want to go there. Like, they're just worried, like, that you stay away, and some of the items and the resources that scavengers often get from rats and bring back to the market, they don't have us. There's like a shortage of whatever rats actually produce. So what do you want to do?
I'm going to spend my time back trying to follow my dream of this new safe haven sort of place. So with all this commotion going on, and start pushing my case on how there's this great habitat that we don't have to worry about all these killings, all these watchers after us, and just try to really push this vision.
You're trying to like proselytize and like let everybody else know this? Are you standing on top of like ruined streetcars and giving like street corner preacher type things?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Can we hear what one of those might sound like? You sucker, you walked right into it. You walked right into it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Everyone, this tribe run by O'Donnell, he's leading it to ruins. Look at this place. Jim, you living in a trash hole.
What are you talking about? This is the best place in the valley. You're crazy. No, listen to him. He said something. Look at him. Look at that hat.
As my hat spins in the wind. There's a place far out there, beyond the walls, beyond the fences.
There's nothing beyond the fences and the walls. You're crazy.
Free of watchers, free of this machine.
There ain't no place free of watchers, you stupid little teen.
Giant fields. Just you can run as far as you can, as your eye can see.
I can run in here. It's just fine.
But there's a better place. We just have to find it.
Tell us about the better place. Are there more coffee makers there? And you look over, it's like a Boston Terrier who's suddenly like paying attention to you. Not Gagarin, but like, you're like, oh, hey, I got a Boston Terrier interested. That's how do you flip that vote?
As many coffee makers as you want.
Okay. So what are you looking to? Let's roll something to see how successful you are at kind of convincing people of what's happening. So we could do. I mean, this isn't really a scry. This is more like you're trying to convince people, kind of convincing a big group. Functionally, it is kind of dominate because that's what dominate's for. So why don't you roll a dominate check? But I'll give you like a +2 modification for like hopping on top and like trying to like do some sort of preacher type thing using like the grand speech as your. Another place where the megaphone would have been really, really useful, actually, now that I think about it.
If only that weren't scrolled away somewhere.
Really good.
Y'all had a chance to take it.
That's true. It's fair. It's fair. Yeah. All right. So go ahead and roll your dominate at +2 mod.
Dominate. +2.
Is it lagging?
Yeah, it might be being slow.
Yeah, I mean, it comes around eventually.
That was a perfect time for a sponsor shout out.
Yeah, so if you like what we're doing here, we got a new show we just started last night over on the Zweihander RPG Twitch channel. We call it an Ailing Isle. It's a little kind of spooky little show. We got Ashley, she's playing in it, Long Lee, Melissa, one of our other friends, Justin, who's supposed to be in the channel watching us, but he's a jerk and he doesn't support his friends. But the 4 of us, or the 5 of us, I should say, we did a little spooky thing. It went pretty well. But we're going to be doing that every Thursday from 7 to 9 Central, 7 to 9 Pacific Standard Time. That's our time zone. On Thursdays over at twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG. So definitely check us out and check out the podcast every Monday where we also play Zweihander. Okay, so let's see. McCloud's got a success and a bunch of fails. You want to push that?
But luckily it's his second roll. The first one's just a success.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The first roll he did worked fine. I think
I read that as him pushing, and now he broke an item.
his hat finally disintegrates.
His hat just explodes. It just keeps twirling, and just gets up and flies away, and it's gone forever. Okay, you seem to have actually converted not too many people. I mean, like a bunch of people are booing and hissing and throwing rocks at you and stuff like that, and eventually the crowd disperses. But you get about 6 or 7 people hanging around afterwards, talking to you and being like, I want to know more about this place. And are you the one that's going to lead us there? And then they look at you kind of up and down, kind of suspicious and skeptical of a teenager doing this. But you definitely seem to have gotten a couple converts, mostly from like the foxes and the wolves. You don't have any dogs who are among this, but still, like you've convinced a few, and people, and you kind of rise up in esteem. So,
not the Boston Terrier.
Boston Terrier is gonna be one of them. This is gonna be a convert. I want to be able to do a Boston. What's a Boston accent? I can't do one. If I try, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad.
Just think.
Where are the car keys? Are they in the garage?
Yeah. Smart Park. You see that commercial? Where it's Smart Park. It's on Smart Park. Oh, there we go. Okay. So a couple weeks pass, and you all have gotten your time to relax and develop bits and pieces of your own personal plans. When eventually various agents of the resistance they contact you in a variety of different ways. And some of you, in the case of Tchaikovsky, it's just Ringo, popping in since you share the same habitat and letting you know, Ringo, want to deliver message. Still upset, but I'm beginning to forgive. But Truffaut would like to see you, has new mission for you to undertake. And then a couple others, you get like this strange like pamphlet that is like a repurposed like medical pamphlet for like STDs or something, and you see like a hastily crayoned symbol of the resistance, which is like the paw and the talon and the claw all kind of stacked on top of one another, like slid in, and it says, and like it just says chopper, and then to burn it. And some of you you just, as you're out hunting or you're out like wandering the streets, someone kind of bumps into you and says something along the lines of, sure it's a fine time to go for a long walk, don't you think? And then gives you the wink, and then they wander away. A lot of different spycraft stuff. I'm not a spy, but whatever. But eventually all of you start matriculating your way back to the chopper, and you meet there one by one. Some of you are in the morning, some of you a day later, and you find yourselves back together with Truffaut and Walpole. Ringo is not here. And Truffaut brings you back into the room within the chopper with that big circular wagon wheel coffee table, and sits you down, offers you some drink, some moonshine again, and goes through like his normal kind of meditation practice of loading and unloading his revolver. And I'm sure you've heard all of the Watcher activity in the valley of late. I think this is his voice. I can't remember. It's time that we...
There we go.
It's time that we get active on our own, I think. We're sending you to the ape tribe. Now's the time. It's curious that they haven't seen any Watcher activity of late, and I'm worried that perhaps that might mean something. Could they be swaying back towards the Watchers? Could they perhaps be informing? It's time for you to gain and gather some intelligence. So, as he starts kind of going over the ape tribe, he kind of gives you a kind of a brief history lesson, and he's just like, although the apes are often very strong and formidable creatures, they are, by and large, peaceful, and they prefer the isolation of their islands in the stream. But times are changing, and there has been a growing voice of dissent within the apes. The chimpanzees, the orangutans, and the gorillas keep themselves separate. But there is one gorilla who has managed to make inroads in establishing a stronger resistance sympathies. It's a woman by the name of Largo. A massive gorilla, bigger than even myself. And he is like huge, don't forget that. He's like a 12-foot tall bear, like 700, 800, 900 pounds, something like that. And so when he says that this gorilla is probably the strongest and the biggest in the valley, he's not lying.
Gigantopithecus?
That is her middle name, I think. Largo Gigantopithecus Smith. So, I would like you to make contact with her, but like Aldrin, maintain some semblance of stealth and a covert feel to this operation. I don't want it to be obvious that you're part of the resistance. Be careful of who you talk to. There are elder apes within the tribe who are still very loyal to the Watchers. I don't know exactly who or what. Ringo has had more difficulty accessing the islands. They don't seem to like him for some reason. but they still need trading at times. Their leader, Boar, is an orangutan of some renown, but his feelings about the Resistance and about the Watchers remain a mystery to me. Your job, of course, is to see what sort of allies we can have there. See what sort of threats there are, informants to potentially root out, and of course, be on the lookout for Watcher activity. Recent events has drawn their ire, and many habitats across the valley have gotten a bit of a reprisal for our actions in the dog tribe. Do you have any questions for me?
So we're supposed to speak to this Largo, and she'll know what to do?
I want you to judge how committed she is to join the Resistance. I want you to pump her for information about the rest of the tribe, its politics, the position of its leader. Are they an ally for us in the future? Or are we barking up the wrong tree?
Ever since you said islands in the stream, like Hamill's just been off, like singing the song to herself.
I'm glad to see you're of better spirits. I need not remind you that you of all people should know the seriousness of your charge. Do you have more brothers to donate to the Watcher experimentation?
No, and thanks for bringing me back.
You're welcome.
A nice
Helena?
couple minutes singing a song to myself, and now that's
Aw.
gone.
Any other questions for him?
Helena's gonna ask, do you perhaps know what Largo happens to be trade in, or what is the word, class, I guess?
She is a warrior of some renown and strength. Constantly with gorillas at her side.
Okay.
What's the ape habitat like? Is they just islands? How do I get to them?
They are somewhat centralized in the valley. If you head to the east-northeast from here, curve around the dog tribe, you'll eventually reach the river. Follow it north until you see the islands. You have a choice of how you get across. You could try to be social with the chimpanzees who fish along the riverbanks. They might take you on one of their rafts across, or you might swim. But there are dangers in the river, just as there are in the forest and in the plains of our valley.
Yeah, I'm a cat, so swimming does not sound like something Helena's gonna want to do.
It does actually say in the book that all animals are competent swimmers. So unless there's role play it however you want, but like mechanically you don't. There's no you don't get
Yeah.
penalty or anything for it. Okay. Any other questions for Truffaut?
So we don't have any friends of guards or anything like that. We just have to try to either be nice to them or swim across.
The chimpanzees are a fickle bunch, but as I said, they're very peaceful. They enjoy their fishing. As long as you are considerate and respectful, and I would not recommend too much over demonstration of aggressiveness. You could perhaps find a friendly fisherman or fisherwoman to raft you across the river.
Thank you.
You got it, dude.
Are you on good terms with this Largo?
I have not met her. I am an admirer of hers from a distance. She reminds me of myself when I was a young bear. She is very much like my niece. Headstrong, thinking perhaps the strength of her muscles is all she needs, but we need strength of mind and spirit in concert with strength of physicality if we are to defeat the Watchers. But I have not met her personally. Anything
Are there
else?
any distinguishing features so we know where she is, where her?
I think she's the giant one.
Yeah, she big.
You'll have to
They're all
ask.
big.
You'll have to ask the apes in the habitat once you
Oh
arrive.
boy, she thick.
She's the one who hogs the bench press machine. She's always seeing what she can max out at. Okay, so anything else for Wildpaw or for Truffaut?
Nope.
Okay. As you go to leave, Truffaut puts a big meaty paw on like Hamill's shoulder, and he says, "I am sorry, little one." And by paw and shoulder, basically your whole body.
Basically just picks me up, talk to me.
I don't mean to make you feel bad, but never forget what they did. Never. As soon as we forget that we are enslaved in this valley, the sooner we become complacent and do the job of the Watchers for them.
Oh yeah, my parents are never gonna let me live it down. So don't worry, I will never forget. A day will not go by when I forget. But I may have a moment where I sing a little song if you don't mind. It makes me feel a little better, so then I can, move on with my day. But
I just
never
prefer if
forget.
people
I will never
don't
forget.
check their phones while I'm giving a lecture in the debriefing room is all I'm getting at. But he smiles and he gives you an extra little ration of moonshine. So you have a little flask of moonshine just for fun. It's like for your pain.
Hamill's the true lush.
So you guys get to head out.
I'm gonna do a scry before we head
absolutely.
over.
What are you doing as you're scrying? Describe
So
it.
of course,
for everybody.
I scan the room real quick and hop onto a bookshelf.
Okay.
Start my scrying. Little
Okay.
handstand
Is there a breeze pushing the pinwheel of your hat?
every time.
That's the spirits,
Good. Yeah.
bringing the vision.
Wild Paw's just going just to make sure it's going right.
And then after, how long is a ritual usually?
Takes a couple hours, if I recall correctly. Don't you have quick scry or something?
Okay, yeah, I can quick
You
scry.
don't have to, but I think it takes a couple hours.
Yeah, it
All right,
does.
I don't want to wait that long. One. Just
Okay.
I'll do quick scry then. I'll take the -2 penalty.
Right. So -2 mod. Roll your check. So what is it? What is it you're saying out loud? Like as you trying to scry here in this situation, like as you're saying this out loud, like what is it you're saying to people? Like,
So I just
what's your
nitpick.
prediction?
I'll say it's bloody, but shiny as well. We find a important object that one of the apes nearby the river's lost from a monster, and we are able to return it to them for good favor.
Okay. So you said it's shiny and bloody? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we ripped it out of something.
Okay. You want
It's a
to
fishing hook.
push that?
Is that right?
Let's see.
0d6.
You didn't
So-
roll.
No.
Oh, I didn't. What happened?
Make sure that you're hitting.
Yeah. Did you punch the numbers in right?
5 for base. And that's it.
Okay. And then which button did you hit the roll?
The one next to advance roll.
Yeah, that's the one I do. So you got 5 for base. What's your skill? Did you put
It's
anything?
2, but I put 0 because it's -2.
Okay. So then that looks right. So.
No numbers came through.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no actual numbers in it.
okay. Just roll. Just from the menu in the upper left. Just roll 5d6. Okay. So you got 1 success. There you go. Okay.
That's better.
So once he's done, once McLeod's done with his strange whatever the hell it was he was doing, you all depart. Who is kind of scouting and leading the way?
I imagine that Ringo and myself would be, since we're traders.
Ringo actually wasn't there at the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ringo's been gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just
He
assumed he was
doesn't-
with me since he
He just
since
told you.
me.
Yeah, he
I
just
gotcha,
told you how
gotcha.
to go.
Okay.
Ringo is not your answering machine.
So then, yeah, I guess I'll just go first. Classic scavenger on a trading mission type event.
Okay, so are you guys looking to take roads? Are you looking to take overland? You've heard some rumors that there was some heavy sentinel activity on the roads in the sort of areas around the kind of badger dog kind of border, which is where the helicopter is at.
Yeah.
So you can go
Overland.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
Especially
stick
a
to roads.
Especially a diverse group like us, I think we definitely should stay off the roads as much.
Oh,
as
are we
possible.
traveling together?
mhm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
You don't have to, but it is safer to travel together, I would say. I'm cool for splitting the party, though. I'm always
No.
cool for splitting the party.
No.
Okay. All right, so then off-roading it? Is that what we're saying?
That's my
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let me roll something really quick. Okay. Good to know. So,
That's not ominous.
Right.
That was fun.
Let me roll something. Let me take a note.
sometimes GMs just roll stuff, just roll dice just to screw with you guys. It's pretty fun.
Just to keep the muscles fresh or in
Be like,
warmed
"Here
up.
we go." So you start
Can
heading.
I make an awareness check real quick?
you start.
Where would you like to sleep?
That's what I get Ashley on all the time. Oh man. Okay, so you're heading eastward out of the helicopter area, and you come to the inner fence. Now, the inner fence. Remember that there are fences that are all around, and it's not just the outer fence is obviously the super dangerous one that no one can ever kind of pass around. But the inner fence kind of separates, like there's inner fences that sort of separates all the habitats. And so if you're not going on roads where you're going through checkpoints, usually you're looking for a break somewhere in the fence. And there are some of these, but they do require some looking. So if somebody wants to take some time, or all of you all can assist on this too, or all of you can roll for this. But you can, if somebody wants to try to take the lead in kind of scouting for some sort of opening in the fence.
Alternatively, I could use my scavenge ability and just get us some like not bolt cutters, but like wire cutters or whatever. And you just cut a hole in the fence.
Absolutely, yeah. Roll for
Try it.
scavenge for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it.
All right. I hope this is set
What about
up
some
properly.
thermite? Burn a hole.
Okay.
It's a success.
And
Yeah.
you get a one-use item, and so unless you want to push and try to get it to be more permanent, you get out this rusty pair of bolt cutters that you start snapping along the kind of the metallic fence, and you get just enough of a line to cut before they just crumble, and the bolts that were keeping the two
the
arms
pieces.
together, they just fall apart. But at this point, Cujo is probably able to force it. So go ahead and roll me a force roll there, Cujo. Yeah,
Hey.
no problem whatsoever. You just managed to just pull back a bit, and everyone's able to slide through this new hole in the fence. Fortunately, there were no drone activity at the time to catch any of this happening. So as you continue to travel eastward a bit, Hamill, you are the first to hear a kind of a strange call in the distance. And McCloud, shortly thereafter, you notice it too, because it sounds very familiar to you. It sounds like one of a wolf howl almost. So it's like, and then barking, coming from somewhere to the north. You're passing by kind of this sort of rundown area. We would recognize it probably as kind of like a really small strip of buildings. There's kind of an odd smell to it, so everything's kind of overgrown. It's not the most lush and good looking place. You could definitely see that there's a heavier like human presence that was here, and it's just, like the forest is still competing a bit. You can see that there looks to be some kind of rusted and broken down what we would refer to as bleachers that have kind of collapsed inward on themselves. And you continue to go further, and it looks like you're some sort of pavilion area, maybe, where there's some sort of trees and open land, but this just absolutely horrid and just terrible smell. And when you get closer, you can see Hamill and McCloud that out maybe 30 to 50 yards to the north, you can see that there's three wolves, wolf mutants that seem to be harassing or kind of barking and beating up some sort of creature. So if you would like to try to see more, roll scouts, the two of you.
I'll leave this to you, Hamill. If something happens, just shout out.
You can, if you want to assist, you can always say I'm helping or something. It's fine.
What's helping to?
I mean, in this case, I'll just give her a +1 modification. She can take an extra die.
All right.
I'm just waiting for the roll to come up.
Yeah. So and as you're looking around, all of you can kind of see there's some gnarled trees that definitely look to. They're not very lush. There's not a whole lot of vegetation. It's a very kind of muddy, soggy ground all over the place. You can see these kind of big blue boxes that have kind of thrown all over the place. And there looks to be some kind of almost like a hole in the ground up ahead as well. But you can't make out as you just push. Is that what just happened?
I think she meant to roll a d6, but it's a d8.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to add the extra one.
Okay.
Sorry. It's a 1.
Okay. Do you want to push? If you push, you will take, because of that 1, you will take a
Trauma.
a trauma. I think it's fatigue.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I can't remember. Is that scout agility? I don't have my
Scout is wits.
So you would take some doubt.
Okay.
I'm sorry, confusion. Thank you. It was one of those. I had a 1 in 4 chance. You're gonna push it?
Thinking. I did. It's thinking.
Okay.
Push it.
Yeah, the regular dice rolls, if you just roll like a d6 or d8, those are going through pretty quick, but the other ones are.
Yeah. I wonder if it's the character sheets then.
I don't know. I mean, like there's like we have a character sheet that's like that's outputting to a macro. That's what that thing is. It's sort of. I didn't make any of it. I'm just combining other people's creations so that it has that cool lookout. But why don't you just roll 4 d6s, and we'll say from the normal one, and the first d6 is the green dice. The green die, excuse me. Okay. You're gonna take 2 points of confusion, and it smells too bad here, and there's kind of like this this haze coming up from that crack, that hole in the ground. But you can't really make out anything more other than whatever the creature is. Hey, there it is. Finally. That's a way better roll.
So just 1 point?
It's I'll say just 1 point. That's fine. And there's a very big but strange looking creature. You want to say it actually almost looks ape-like, but it has too many arms. But you think for a moment they're probably just fighting like some sort of monster, like your land shark that you fought, but you don't recognize this. This isn't like a known monster that that patrols the woods around the valley. And you also suddenly hear a voice like, "Stop hurting me, you ruffian! Stop it!" And you can see like there's like 4 arms that start to be swinging, and these dogs are just like kind of beating her or it, because it's a female voice with clubs.
It's a spider monkey. That's all the arms.
You can
So report back to everybody that, it seems like somebody's being attacked and is looking for help. Should we go help them? The birds say yes.
Yes.
Nice sound effects.
That was the scream of the person.
What's your bird's name, by the way?
Twig.
Nice, I like it. It's a good name.
So yeah, Chai is just gonna be like, "Oh, that's not very specific. What are you talking about? Someone's in trouble."
And so she'll point, and you can see that there's 3 large wolf figures that are kicking and beating and barking some other figure that's kind of rolling on the ground. Not particularly big for some of the, like, you've seen apes before. They're very large, they're like gorillas and things, but this one's kind of smaller.
Okay. Can I toss the megaphone over to Cujo and say, "Oi, you big lumbering lout, can you deal with this?"
I'll reach out and catch the megaphone, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna pull my mask down, get on all 4s, and start running towards the
I
commotion.
explain how the megaphone works and like click the button while you talk.
He's already running.
It's like, I hit them in the face with it.
Okay, so you start running, and you get within a few yards before they hear you, and then they turn around, and there's this freaking Wolverine in a hockey mask, like running with a megaphone. What are you doing at this point?
As soon as they turn around and they kind of like notice me, I'll activate the megaphone and hold it up and just be like, 4-on-1's not very friendly. What's going on here? And then I'm gonna.
Well, they
I'm
turn
gonna do
around
my-
at you and they said, "There's just 3 of us. Don't you know how to count?" And then
So
you
I'm gonna-
dominate.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my dominate.
Go
So the mask.
He has a
gives
mask
me-
on.
The mask gives me +1, I think, doesn't it? Or is it +2? Do you remember?
I can pick it up. I got
I'm not-
Just imagine Cujo with like that scene out of Batman where he's like, "Where's the trigger?"
it. Swear to me. It's all just, you're gonna regret these voices, by the way, if you do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just +1.
+1.
I only have the hockey helmet on me.
Am I getting the? Am I getting any minuses based off the
You're
3-1?
outnumbered. I'll give you credit for the fact that there's another creature here, so it'll just be a -1 modification, say 3 to 2.
So we're even right now.
so,
But
yeah.
the megaphone gives me 2.
I just had it. It does, in fact, give you +2. Yeah.
Okay, so +2 in total.
And I'll pull them up.
And then it'll take its sweet time.
Right.
Jeopardy music playing in the background.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's 1 point for each of them. They're all running.
Wow. Nice
Wow.
roll.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Just
I don't know if that's good or not.
I just got 2 successes. So, okay.
Wow.
I only had 2. I just rolled double 6s. Now, understand the way a dominate works. You were successful, totally. You totally succeeded. And they're all kind of started this. Understand, though, when you dominate and you're successful, the person the creature that you're dominating has one of 2 choices. They either do whatever it is that you want them to do. If you were asking or requesting something, in this case, you weren't. You're just sort of like, I mean, you kind of were. You were implying it. Or they fight you.
Okay.
And that's what they're gonna do. So go
Sounds
ahead.
good.
And they're gonna just like they don't see the rest of them behind. No one else charged up with you, and so they're gonna turn their attention now to you. And so go ahead and you can roll initiative, and I'll put you on the map.
Who got the bow and arrow, by the way, from Gagarin when Cujo made the visit and actually successfully bartered for it?
Remind me on the initiative check again.
Roll a d6.
There's an initiative button.
Yeah, there is
Up at the
there
top.
should be an
Yeah,
initiative.
I was looking for it.
It's at the
Oh,
top
okay,
next to
I see it.
attributes.
Okay.
I know I did not get the bow and arrow, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Who ended
remember
up
who
with
we
that?
just. Yeah.
Cujo had it, but we didn't decide
Okay.
who got it.
All right, I'm gonna.
So I'm guessing Chai just has it with all the other stuff.
You can check the rest of you can roll initiative as well.
Oh,
I'm gonna
gross.
switch over to a map here.
I like the map though.
All right, right now the rest of them are kind of off screen to the south a little bit. Off screen in channel, but you guys should be able to see it just fine. All right, so okay, so you definitely okay. So I think you're probably gonna end up going first. So add a turn for you. Getting at my turn order really quick. Should have reset that earlier. All right.
So since I'm initiating the fight, does that mean I get higher initiative than like Ashley or anyone else that's technically not in the fight yet?
You're closer, so you're gonna be able to do stuff.
Yeah,
but-
I'll let you go.
Okay.
All right, so let's add some turns. Oops.
I'm laughing at the just skeleton laying in the.
Yeah, I like the map. It looks cool.
Thanks. I love this program. So some people were mentioning the maps last night in our spy game, but this is I'm using this program called Dungeon Draft, which is by Megasploot. You can get it's like $20, and it's still in beta, but they're adding a bunch of stuff pretty regularly at this point. They're also the same people who made Wonder Draft, which is more of like a world map kind of creation. This one's more, and Dungeon Draft is more for like combat maps, effectively. So not only that, but I support some folks on Patreon for like who do map assets. So like Zovia and Dr. Mapso, those are like two I support on Patreon. So I have some of their and Kaora, like that's another name. Like the three of them, I get some of their assets and like I kind of add it through like GIMP. I add some more stuff on it just to kind of fancy it up a little bit. And other things I just have to find. Like I just had to like search for porta potty, because who would have thought that no one's actually making porta potty stuff.
There's no asset out there for that.
All right, so let's see. We've got Logan. What's yours? What's your
5.
plus your agility?
I roll. Oh, plus my agility?
Yeah.
My agility's 4, so I'm at 9.
All right. Lodge guards. They're like, I think I rolled a 1. They're all gonna go at the same time. And then Helena, we've got
11.
damn girl, you fast. Hamill,
Cat-like
Someone
reflexes.
call it yet.
I got it. I can see it in the chat. I just punched him in. And then Tchaikovsky. I think I put McLeod's in wrong. Oh no, I did. I got it right. Derek, yours is 7. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So first up looks to be Helena. So you remember how to do this? You get to do something that is an action. So an action would be rolling a skill check or using an animal power. You all should have your +2 animal powers or feral points from the last session.
Yep.
So you have those to use if you want to use them, and you also get a move action. And you're remember that you can move 10 yards, which is 5 squares on this map. Helena, I think you can move even faster, so you should be able to move, I believe, twice as much?
Yes. I
want to say that's right.
That sounds right.
Let's see if I can get that in the screen for people to see. There we go. Cool. Visible. All right, so what would you like to do? Like you can see at this point, you heard, I mean, like, he used a megaphone, so you certainly heard everything he shouted. So it's just a question of whether you want to do anything. And you can see the wolves have now turned around and have stopped messing up this creature's little campsite and are instead kind of charging and looking as if they're about to go towards Cujo.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move about here because I am the primary healer.
Okay. I think you're the
Um,
only healer.
Yep.
Okay.
And she is going to. I have a knife, so I'm just gonna kind of chill here for now, and just kind of see what happens.
Okay. And then Hamill, you are next.
Yeah, Hamill is definitely not going to be the first one to run in either.
Okay.
So she is also going to she'll move forward just a little bit and get out her sling
Okay.
and a stone.
All right. So you want to move. You want to get out your sling. Remember that you have to take a move action to effectively load the sling. So you can always load. You can always use your move action to load a sling now if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh, can I also draw out my knife?
That's fine. I assume that's okay. I don't mind you guys getting out like one simple weapon and stuff like that. Okay. So then next up is gonna be Cujo. So these wolves turn around and look at you in your hockey mask and your megaphone. You dominate them, and they are radically insulted by everything you said. And they say, "Look at this little thing," and they start barking. So.
If it's a fight you'll want, you guys will be surely disappointed. And I'm gonna use measure enemy.
Okay.
After I maneuver myself between this frightened, small, weakened, pathetic creature that's been getting its ass kicked.
Yeah,
and,
it's like a multi-armed chimpanzee with sort of weird boils and kind of wounds on it in some way. Definitely, and you can definitely see it. It's also recently just taken like a beating. Like it's definitely like they've these clubs. It looks pretty beat up.
So I got a 1 success on my measure enemy, and it was.
So remember that measure enemy is if you have to actually study them for like a minute. It's like watching them before you fight. We'll say this. I'll let you retroactively do it because Hamill and them would have pointed out what was going on, and so you probably could have done it beforehand. So we'll say we'll retroactively apply this. So go and do your measure enemy.
Okay. It succeeded, even though it only gave me 3 dice.
Okay, so you got a success. So then you can get a +1 modification, so that you can choose what you want to do. Get +1 modification to your attacks if you want against one enemy. So ping whichever one you want to use, or you can do 1 level of doubt right now. They can take 1 level of doubt, or you can get +1 to your initiative roll if you want.
I'll just give myself some extra damage, and we'll put it on the wolf in the middle. I'm not sure how to ping in the system.
Just hold down the left click.
Okay.
So I'll just put a little 1 on there. There we go. Well, that's actually not showing. So go ahead and you're gonna actually roll an attack. Yeah, just fight attack. Okay, I put a little aura around it. All right, that is a success. They're not. Do you want to push that? You got 1 success, but a bunch of other dice. It's up to you if you want to do anything else. So success, your enemies, highest attribute and skill scores. So you're gonna know that they're pretty strong. So they definitely have highest strength, and they're definitely good at fighting. I mean, these look like the same kind of guards in scouts that were patrolling around. Sorry, I had you guys muted for some reason. I don't know how that happened. So you were success. I had it just for a couple seconds. My bad. But you know that they are strong and that they have the ability. They're very good at fighting and shooting because these are guards. They're literally hired to do the physical stuff. So
okay,
yeah.
And then so I'm going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get 1 point of damage on, and I'm going to dump some of my feral points.
Okay.
I have the animal power predator, which lets me spend basically as many FP as I want to give myself +1 damage. So right now, with the successful attack and the fact that I get a bonus with my measure enemy, right? So that's 2. I'm going to dump in an additional 2 for predator.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 2 feral points.
That's 2.
Don't I have to roll d6 now to?
Yeah. So when you activate an animal power, it's counted as an action unless it's something specific. Is it a reactive power? It should be, because if it's based off like a successful attack, that sounds like it's reactive.
I think it is. I have to double check. Sorry, I don't have a whole lot of this stuff written down.
Okay. So whenever you use an animal power, you roll a number of base dice equal to the amount of FP that you're spending. And if you roll 1 or more 1, then you suffer a feral effect. So you're spending 2 feral points?
Yeah, I'm spending 2, so it's going to be 2d6.
What's the name of this ability again?
Predator.
So let me look. I got my PDF up really quick. So Predator is enhancing, so you're good. You can use it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you're fine. It's like when you have succeeded in a roll to fight, so it's all good. So roll 2d6s, and you're good. No ones, you're fine. So no feral effect, but just go to make sure you mark off your feral points.
Yep.
And so what's the total damage?
1 for the successful attack, 1 for the measure enemy, and then 2 for the predator. So 4 total damage.
All right, 4 total damage will be enough to bring this guy to 0. So you immediately
get the fight started quickly.
You immediately disable this guy as he's reduced to 0 strength.
So as soon as he starts talking, I'm just gonna dive underneath his legs, and while I'm diving, I'm gonna attack both of his ankles. And then he's going to go down, and then I'm going to swing around to his back, and I'm going to grab his snout with one hand, and then just bring my razor sharp claws just straight across his chest up into his throat, and just bring him down. And then I'm immediately going to look at the other 2, and I'm going to say, "Is this really what you guys want to do?" as their comrade just collapses to the ground, just like bleeding out and semi gargling.
So not only that, but like he was reduced to 0, so he takes a critical injury, and as he goes to the ground and you're just like tearing away at his ankles, when he falls down, like one of your claws just like rips across his ear, and you can see you just tear one of his ears right off. It's completely torn off. And so that's the injury that he rolled. And so it's just kind of, so you can put in your inventory if you want a wolf ear. Okay. So let's keep it going. Tchaikovsky.
Okay. I keep looking, but I forget where it's saved. How far are you able to move? Where is that on the character sheet?
10 yards. And what I'm doing in the maps is every square is 2 yards. So you can move 5 squares. Unless you have a special ability like Ashley does where it allows her to move further.
Gotcha. And diagonal still counts as...
Yeah, diagonal's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to move here, and then I need to do a quick measure. This is not working.
It'll be the mutant monkey next, and then it'll be McCloud afterwards.
Sorry, for whatever reason. There we go.
You know what I think of every time we say McLeod?
I think of Highlander.
No, I think of McQueen from the Cars movie.
Oh, okay. I always hear, I'm Duncan McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
Isn't there like a detective show like McCloud?
There might be. I don't know. What do you got, Derek? What are we doing?
Since I used my maneuver action to actually maneuver, I can't ready my sling, so my action just...
You can take a second maneuver. Instead of doing an action, you can always take 2 maneuvers.
Then I'll just prep my sling, because I'm on my next turn going to attack this guy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for telling me your plans, and so now I'll have him charge you and kill you. So the ape-like, or the monkey-like creature is going to go next. They'll move back here to this one, and will attempt to just do an attack, just nothing too special. Where did I put? I'm just gonna roll with regular d6s, so I'm not lagging. So 3, and so the first 3 are skills. Okay, So that's going to be a success. This creature's just attacking with like all 4 of these punches, and so that creature right here will take a little bit of damage. Then after that, it is McCloud's turn.
I'll run in, follow up.
Okay.
A bunch of wolves. Must be O'Donnell's crew.
And when they see you come up, you hear a sneer. It's that traitorous Seer who gave that stupid speech in the market about something beyond the walls. When we get back to the tribe, we're gonna tell them all about you, you traitorous scum.
Whoa.
So what would you like to
Amazing,
do?
they're still confident enough to think they're going to get back alive after Cujo just like de-gutted one.
They don't have fairly high wits.
I
Not
just
their
had to use
highest
two-
stat.
I used 2 maneuvers to move in closer.
Okay, so then they're gonna go next. The guard, this guy is just going because he's critically injured. There's not a whole lot that he's gonna be able to do.
Embrace the porta potty for cover.
So it should be able to just move away because I think I can take 1 maneuver when you're broken, and so I'm just gonna start going this way. We'll come up there, and then the one that's over here will kind of push over the pots, come after Cujo, and will go ahead and turn the swinging of this club that has like these nails sticking out of it. It will go ahead and swing at Cujo. Again, I'm just gonna roll the stat. The first 3 are the skill. The next 4 are the stats, and then the final 2 are the gear. So that's like 9. Is that right?
11?
No, it's 4 + 3 + 2, so 9. So I'm gonna roll. So I'm gonna roll the first 4 are its strength. Okay, no successes there. And then the next 3 that I'm rolling are its skill, got 1 success, and then the last 2 are its bonus for using a club. And that's another success. So those are 2 successes, and that's all that one's going to do.
Do you have to roll a 6?
I was about to say, I thought the one means the item broke.
You're totally. That's only if I push it. I only have 1 success. My bad. I added them because I'm stupid. But I do have the 1 success from my skill rank. So,
yep.
1 success. Do you want to try to defend it and taking up your action for the next turn, Cujo, or do you want to just let it go through?
If I'm defending, I can't I can't use like my armor unless I do the defend action, right? Or
no, armor is just passive. It works all the
so
time.
okay. So then yeah, I'll just take the hit and use my armor.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. What's your armor rating?
3.
So roll 3d6s.
Let's see if this works.
Yeah, there is an armor button, but I'm just doing it just to accelerate it because we're getting close to 2 hours. So, okay, so basically you would have to roll to 6, and for every 6 you roll, you cancel out 1 of the damage. So you take 1 point of strength damage as it goes through.
Sounds good.
Okay, the other one is going to go ahead and attack the creature that they've been picking on because, again, they're stupid. I'll try to roll it. Yeah, I'm just going to try to roll it, see if it's any better. I'm sorry, you actually took 2 damage because there is a +1 damage on the club. You took 2 points of strength damage. All right. Then on the attack against the creature, manages to hit as well, and so this ape you can see takes another beating, and they just go kind of limp and falling down as they now have to roll 2d6s for their injury.
1 hit.
Well, he was getting beat beforehand. She was getting beat beforehand. So for her, so as Cujo, you're the closest one, so you would be able to kind of see a little bit of what's happening. But as this
broken fingers, huh?
Is that what it is? Did you really look it up? Yeah, broken fingers. Yeah, -1 to shoot. Okay, so up to the top of the round, and it is Helena again. What would you like to do?
So how injured was this guy?
Pretty badly. As they're kind of going away, you can definitely see that there's like blood trails that are beginning to form on the ground, as if they were severely hit. You know?
Okay. I'm gonna spend a feral point, and I'm going to use fleet-footed. I can go directly from long distance, which I'd say I am right now, to arm's length in one turn.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I'm gonna get up in this guy's face.
You want to do the old throat slice?
You guys like that? You guys like that blood trail?
That was pretty good. I was amusing to watch it form.
And I am going to attack this guy.
Go for it. You can have. I'm going to give you +1 modification because they're on the ground and like in their own blood and they're holding up their hands like. So go ahead.
So, sorry. Which kind of roll am I doing?
So you're doing a fight roll.
Fight roll.
Okay. +1 because they're on the ground and kind of moving away.
Cool.
My when I hit the fight roll, it rolled pretty fast. So, all right. Do you want to push that?
Did you put the +1 on there, Ashley?
Plus, you should have a gear bonus from your knife too.
That is true.
Make sure you're putting your knife in there for however much.
Dumb.
Just roll the extra d6 normally. So like roll an extra d6 for your knife or shiv or whatever it is you have.
Okay.
Just do a regular.
3.
Okay, so you still got no successes. You can push if you like. If you do push, you'll be exerting yourself and taking a point of damage.
I don't think she'll push. I can only do 1 attack.
But I thought she was bloodthirsty. What's going on?
She's a little crazy, but let's say she goes to attack and she gets some of like this guy's like blood on her sleeve. And she gets a little bit distracted and she doesn't quite commit like she should.
Okay.
She did just give him like Cicero poison. She hasn't drawn blood yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Hamill, what would you like to do?
All right. So Hamill is going to basically do 2 maneuvers. So come up here.
You're still
and then I would need to
so far away.
Again, ready.
Are you able to zoom out once?
Yeah,
I put mine like 80%.
I'm zooming out a little bit. So I'm just zooming out for stream. You all can maneuver it however you like.
Manage our own. Yep. So I'm still watching what's happening with my little sling.
Okay. I mean, what's the distance on your sling?
It's 20 to 30 yards according to the book.
You could. I mean, at 20 to 30 yards, did
you'd be able to hit him.
I think you could. I think you could have attacked that lodge guard.
I'm at 16 yards from the one next to Cujo, so she would be able to hit him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of the second maneuver, just throw. So you're loaded. Now you're throwing. You're slinging.
Okay. So this is a shoot, right?
Shoot. Yeah.
All right.
Bang bang.
Not bang bang.
All right.
I want to see a rocket powered slingshot.
If you get all ones, you hit Cujo and you kill him.
Nat 1.
Just hits him right in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a success.
That's a success. Very nice.
Bop him.
So, do you want to push that? You don't have any fails. You got the 1 success. You might be able to kill this person.
Shouldn't there be a gray dice for the gear? Because if she were to push it, she put her gear at risk, right?
Did you put any gear dice in when you rolled, Melissa? There's a pop-up window that asks for gear dice.
No. You just want me to just roll an extra d6?
Yep. Just always remember to do that when you're rolling with items that are helping you.
Ooh.
There's 2 successes then.
Good thing I called that.
Yes.
Good reminder.
Thank you.
What's the damage on your sling?
1.
Okay, so basically right now you're doing 2 damage. So, well, you don't have to. You can do 1 damage and you can use your stunt. You can use your extra success for something else. There's other stunts that you can take instead. But the 1 success means you're hitting and you're dealing weapon damage, which is 1. And then you have a second success that you can purchase basically stunts with. And it's up to you which one you would want to do. When Logan hit, he used actually somebody hit and actually did extra damage or something like
Yeah. Do they have a? They don't have a weapon or anything in their hand.
I think they have clubs.
They do actually have clubs. So the things that you can do.
So I'll do the thing where they drop the weapon or the handheld object, and their initiative decreases by 1.
Absolutely. So you take your sling, you flip it around in the air, you fling it, and it just like beautifully bounces off this like cooking pot and just catches them unawares, like right in their temple. And so they look a little woozy, and their club falls down inside of that cauldron, and so they're going to take 1 point of damage just from the weapon damage. Mm-hmm. They just drop their weapon, and they're going to go ahead and move down the order in initiative. They're last, so they're even worse now. But they don't have that club to attack with unless they pick it up, which is a maneuver. Okay.
All right.
So,
successful turn.
Yeah, it's good. All right. So then next up is Cujo. You got one behind you that just got pegged in the head by Hamill.
Yeah, this one got hit for 2 damage?
Just one for
just
that
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Tchaikovsky actually. Did you shoot?
Yeah.
You shot 2, yeah.
Well, no, that was Hamill. I was going to say Logan was the one who started the order, right? Or is he last in the order?
Logan is 3rd in the order.
I think we might have skipped me then because I've only done 1 turn. Didn't Melissa just do 2?
That's her
Melissa,
second. Melissa's the second. Like, you should be able to see the turn order. So
yeah,
it's still mine's still showing it as Helena as the active person right now.
Oh, I haven't been hitting the button. Sorry. Yeah. So it's Hamill's turn, and now it's Cujo's turn. You go after.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is Logan's second turn. We haven't skipped you yet. All right, Logan, go for it.
I am going to ready my machete.
Okay.
And then as far as movement goes, I'll probably stay here. I'm just going to stay in the same position.
Okay.
Try and stay kind of in the middle of everything.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think I can, because readying the weapon is a action, right?
It's a maneuver.
So, is it?
You can do 2 maneuvers or 1 maneuver and 1 action.
Okay, then I'll ready the machete and then just attack.
Okay, go for it.
So let's hope that this updates.
Okay. No successes. Do you want to push?
Yeah, I do.
Go for it. That's what I like to hear.
Ooh.
Okay, so now I think this is the first time.
I don't like my weapons anyway. That's why I got to use them.
The bonus goes down 1. So you only have 1. So just go ahead and knock your weapon bonus down 1.
Sounds good.
And if it ever gets to 0, it's broken and can't be used again until it's repaired. But right now it's still usable because you have because there's 2 bonuses.
Yep.
Okay, so you still do 2 damage if you want. I think he's gonna try to defend actually this time.
So the machete actually does 2 damage. So I think each success.
So it'd be a 3 total damage right now.
Okay.
If you're spending the extra success on damage. I'm sorry, that's not right. The first success does weapon damage, which is 2.
Okay.
And then you have 2 other successes, and you can spend those successes on stunts. So you can always do 1 extra point of damage with an extra success, or there's a bunch of other things you can do as well. So it's up to you what you want to do. You can knock them down. You can do extra damage and knock them down because you have 2 to play with right now. So it's up to you.
Well, because isn't the first success just the basic damage? So I just have 1 bonus.
So there's 1 extra.
Oh, I'm sorry. You only have 1.
2 successes.
Total successes.
I was misreading the thing. My bad.
No problem. And he's already taken 1.
He's taken 1 damage from the shot by Hamill, and he's going to take at minimum 2 damage from you. He's gonna have a chance to defend. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do.
Let's go for the knockdown then.
Actually, no, I can't defend. It has to be before they roll their dice. So go ahead and knock them down. So they are now prone next to that cauldron, and they have taken 2 damage, and they do not look great, but they have not been reduced to 0 yet on strength.
Okay.
All right. So then we've got Tchaikovsky. What do you want to do?
So I just realized I thought that when the bonus on your weapon was at 0, it just meant it doesn't help you at all. So I'd actually my sling's broken, so I couldn't have readied it last turn.
Okay. All right.
So essentially, all I can do is maybe just scavenge for a 1-use one, and then prepare that for the following turn.
All right. So scavenge from the last turn, because that's what you would have replaced it with. So go ahead and roll your scavenge to see what you get. You got 2 successes.
I see 1.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Logan's again. It doesn't always like roll up for me. So you can push that roll if you want, but if you do this right now, you're just getting quite literally a kind of really crappy weapon that's going to help you briefly, but it's up to you.
Yeah, and to push it, I would just do the exact same roll and see what happens, right?
Because right now you're getting, you can only get a blunt instrument with, so it says weapons, you can use scavenge to find a blunt weapon. Extra successes can provide a better weapon, and so every extra success can increase the gear bonus up to 2, the weapon damage, or the range 1 level.
Okay.
But 1 is...
Yeah, I'll definitely push.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing.
So you have some crappy club that you find, and you know that...
Yeah, like a metal pipe.
Okay, so that's what you had. So you have that in your hand for your second turn. What would you like to do?
I guess I have no choice but to just run up on the prone guy and whack him in the head.
Okay, head on in there. You got enough movement, looks like. And because he's laying prone, and because you guys are kind of outnumbering him at this point, you can have +2 modification on this attack.
Gotcha. I should have just... Okay, hold on.
Whack 'em.
So, is it just... So it'd be +2 and then my strength mod, right? Or my strength attribute?
So it's your fight. So you're doing fight.
Which is 0, but I bumped it up to 2.
So then it'll be your strength. And then
there it is. It just popped up.
And you have...
I'll push that.
But don't forget you have your weapon that you just picked up that you should be...
then I'll add another D6 to that.
Yeah, Derek, you got to follow your own advice.
Well, I was going to break anyway.
A blunt instrument is +1 bonus and 1 damage. So you get 1 extra dice.
Yeah, I rolled the 1d6, came out as a 1. Now I can push the physical attack, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll do that.
And you got a success from it. So that is a hit. It will deal 1 damage. And so that is enough to actually take him down to 0.
Hey.
And he will go ahead and roll 2 D6s. And I will roll an 11.
Oh,
Snake eyes.
Goodness.
And so my 11, the lower the better. And so in this case, it's nothing. All he did was lose
Lost
his breath.
breath.
Yeah.
Knock the wind out of him.
I am an old man, so...
You just took that pipe and just hit him like right in the belly, and he's like, oh.
Solar plexus.
When I get up, I'll show you how to attack. These guys just talk so much trash for people who are getting their asses kicked now. Okay, so then Faraday will start to crawl away, because remember Faraday was injured. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's their turn. Then it's McLeod. What do you want to do?
You accidentally moved the blood.
My bad.
The blood is escaping.
I didn't. There. He's all covered in it.
I'm gonna run into the fray. I think this one hasn't been beaten up yet.
Okay.
I'll get up to him.
Hasn't been touched. You're right.
Tell him, if you're not gonna follow my teachings, I'll have to beat him into you.
There you go.
You're a traitor to your tribe.
Let's see. My Seer staff. Just clonk him across the head.
All right.
I
Seer
was
staff
hoping
is a blunt. I think it's a blunt instrument too. So I think it's +1.
Yeah.
+1. So.
I was hoping he'd spin the propeller on his hat so fast and use it as a blade.
Oh God.
So roll your fight with +1. Okay, you got a success. You want to push?
Let's see. Yeah, sure. What up?
Okay. So go ahead, do it. Attaboy. Look at that.
Ooh.
So
So
it's 2?
you got 2.
Nice.
So that's what, 1. That's 2 total, right? Yeah, 2 total. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got your weapon damage, which is 1, and then you can spend that to do a stunt. Sure.
Let's see.
Don't forget, I've got that conflict primer that has them all
Yeah, I'm
listed.
looking at it.
Okay. You can knock them down. You can increase
Let's
your
do
initiative.
an extra point of damage.
Sure. So 2 points of damage. Then total, they're okay, but they have taken some damage. All right. Next up, it is the Lodge Guard's turn. So the one that's next to you is gonna turn to you, look at you, and it's going to say something to the effect of, "O'Donnell, hear of this, and you think we only travel in 3?" And then I'm gonna go ahead and spend some feral points because I get some too. Basically, a total of however many you guys have, which I know is a lot. And so I'm going to use Warning Call. And
Turns out Logan can count.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna start howling.
Oh God.
And kind of communicating. And so you would know, McLeod, that effectively what they're kind of communicating in a way like shorthand for like getting others to come. So there's probably more patrols out doing things, and then what they're going to do is maneuver over towards their friend at this point, who's beaten down. This guard is going to try to crawl away as best he can, like over top of things, blood trail following him where he goes. And then we're going to go ahead and move back up to the top of the round, which should be Helena.
Helena is going to...
And you all would have heard the warning call. It's possible you would have been able to interpret it, but definitely McCloud could because of the same tribe.
Okay.
So you know that there's reinforcements coming, most likely.
Yeah.
You want to toss me a healing potion?
I mean, that's not how it works, but...
Toss me some of that sweet herb.
I guess she'll just attack.
Okay.
Again.
Go for it. This one's already critically injured, just so you know.
Okay, so does that add to...
I'm giving you +2 modification because they can't really move. Technically, they would have been able to maneuver even further, so
yeah.
on their turn. But you still could get to them.
So each time you get a successful attack, are you just re-rolling another critical injury?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I get...
I think that's what it says, right?
I was looking through it, but I couldn't quite find anything definitive.
Nope, that's the wrong primer. Go ahead and roll your check, Ashley.
Yeah. I guess I'll push.
Nice.
That's better.
So my weapon does 2 damage.
All right.
So it should be 3 total.
So
Yeah.
Bonus is how many die you get. Damage is how many points of damage it does.
Yep. So what I'm going to do, are you attacking the one that's trying to crawl away, or are you attacking the one that just shouted with a warning call?
The one that I was originally attacking, or whichever that one was right in front of me.
Gotcha. Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how much total damage did you do?
3.
3? Okay. And that is enough to knock this one to 0.
Nice.
So I'll roll D66, 52. So 52 on the injury table is a bleeding gut. This is lethal. I suffer 1 point of damage for every roll you make to force, move, or fight. And that dude's going to die in 5 hours if he's not treated. So they're all down at this point.
Okay.
But they're not.
Well, because that guy was already down, right? Or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all have had their strength reduced to 0, and they're all quite literally crawling away. What do you guys want to do? And you know, McCloud, that there's more coming.
Any actions that we take, would that still have to go through like the combat mechanism?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and drop initiative at this point because like you guys are clearly beating the shit out of them, and it's just more of an issue of like what do you want to do, knowing that there's reinforcements, and you can like almost instantly after like the warning call from the lodge guard went out, you heard answering calls like off to the north.
Is there a river nearby?
No, the closest thing I mean, like there's the green pit that you saw. That's the closest thing, but there's no river. There's only one river, but there's a bunch of streams, but there's none in any real close proximity to here. This is kind of a crummy, grungy area that you don't think is probably inhabited. And when you look at this monkey creature with the multiple arms, this is a tainted creature, meaning that they're probably an outcast. And this is one of the only places they could find to live because no one else wants to live here.
Okay. So, well, there's definitely reinforcements coming. I say we kill them so that they can't tell others who did this. We lump the monkey in the cart, and Cujo, can you pull my cart?
And Helena won't even answer them at this point. She's just gonna like take her paw and have her claws kind of pop out, and she's gonna slice the throat open of the one that's below her.
And just sprays all over the place.
Yeah, I'll pick up the club that's in that cooking kettle next to me and smash this guy's head in up here.
Okay. Jesus, you guys are crazy. And there's still one more. The first one that went down that's like slowly trying to move off to the northeast towards the sound of like... Is anyone chasing after that one?
Helena.
Okay.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Because you're really fast. You're really fast.
Yeah.
So you see this cat just like pounce on top and just rapid stabbing.
No, she's got her knife and it's just one solid one to the jugular.
Yeah, because she's a doctor. She knows the way.
Surgical precision.
So as you're doing that, like you can hear the howls like that are happening in the distance, like expecting like the return from this crew, and they're getting closer and closer. And that monkey creature with the 4 arms like waves at somebody, like tries to get them closer. They seem to be struggling to talk and super injured and wounded. Does anyone go to them?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say Helena's too busy killing people.
Okay.
I'll go over.
But Cujo and Hamill...
I think Chai and Helena are beating basically dead things to death. Even
the other three of you start to huddle around this creature, and she's basically like pointing to like the bodies. Throw them in the green. Throw them. They'll find us. They're always looking. And so just sort of trying to crawl on their own, like towards this like green pit. Like there's all this like cracked earth, and at the middle of it, some sort of like sewage runoff.
Yeah.
And whenever you get close to it, you can feel kind of a heat coming from it. You're not really sure what it is. But they're pleading with you, and then
So Hamill will look at Chai and say, like, let's go. Let's
drag
him off.
I put one in my cart and I yeet him into the pit.
Okay. So you start to chuck the bodies into that pit, and then the ape kind of starts crawling and climbs on top of one of the porta potties, and is like waving in your direction. And again, they're super injured, and so they're moving really slowly with their 4 arms crawling, and it's motioning for somebody to come.
I'll assist in helping drag one of these in, and I'll say,
okay,
sorry, brother, it's not the place I imagined for you.
So you guys just one by one start throwing these.
Yeah, just throw all 3 in there.
Okay, let's do it. One.
You just whisper sweet nothings in their ear. Viva la resistance! As you toss them into this pit of acid.
It's some of them are still alive, like they're kind of still like they're dying. They're gonna die out, but they're like, so you hear like these.
This will disinfect your wounds.
As you start chucking these bodies, and they immediately start sinking, and you can see that there's like an acidic reaction, like this chemical burning that's kind of happening.
Yum.
And then who didn't take care of like throwing a body in? Is anybody free as this guy?
I find no sport in like executing people, so I wasn't really planning on finishing anyone off or helping of disposing of bodies. I was more concerned with our monkey friend.
So this monkey is trying to motion you over to this porta potty. and it is like mimicking like a mime. It's trying to talk, but it's seeming to have trouble doing so. It's mimicking like this kind of pull open. It's like trying to grab and like pull on the door.
So I'll go up and I'll try and
roll a force.
Yeah. Force.
Roll a force.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
Skywalker it.
I'm weak.
That's a fail. Does anybody else want to give it a try? As this monkey, and you could hear the howls getting closer and closer, and there's like this sheet metal that's been placed on top of the porta potty's door.
I could try. Never mind. It's too late. Who else has a decent strength? I can get you a crowbar.
Make a crowbar.
Yeah. Hold on. I make
if it's
a crowbar.
Force, I can do it.
Okay.
All right.
It is force.
All right.
I make a crowbar. There you go.
You give the crowbar over to Hamill. Hamill, go ahead and make a force with a +1 modification.
Yikes.
Roll it. Yeah. Oh, well.
Do you want to push that?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, God.
And she completely exerts it.
Awful.
You fall to the ground. And finally, the ape says, the hell with it, and does it themselves as they push the sheet metal off and flip open the door of this porta potty. And you can see that the back of the porta potty, which is connecting to the ground, there's like this metallic grate that they slide to the side, and you can see that the kind of the plastic that made up the porta potty has been broken and ripped away, and there is like a hole that's going into the ground, and you can see that they just dive into it kind of face first and follow, hide, they say as they kind of crawl down into that hole.
Will follow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the last person through, we'll say it's McCloud. You can hear as the howls are immediately close, and just as you start closing the porta potty door behind you, you catch the faintest glimpse of 3 more lodge guards bursting onto the scene, but the door closes just in time. And all of you dive down into this weird 4-armed monkey's underground lair. And I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Next to a radiation
Next to a
pit.
radiation pit.
In a porta
Full
potty.
of corpses.
Yeah. All right. So let's do a quick XP thing. So do we... we got some stuff done, which was nice. So
Yeah.
let's see. Starting rank, character creation, you have a rank based on your age. Anybody... No one actually dominated anybody of higher rank yet, so no. All of you get 1 XP for participating in the session.
Hey, I leveled up.
Anybody sacrifice or risk something for their tribe? They want to make that argument?
Sacrifice my own tribe members.
That's true.
Oh, God.
I mean,
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be
For your
for
tribe.
your tribe.
he sacrificed something for the resistance.
Sure. I actually will give him a +1 for that because you're actually
Kind of
killing your
betrayed.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give you +1, extra +1 there, Long. Anybody sacrifice or risk something for their PC buddies?
I risked my life to save Serge with that
Okay.
crocodile incident.
All right. I'll take
Is that your buddy?
No, your buddy
Oh,
is
yeah,
like
yeah. Sorry, that's not your PC buddy.
like Hamill, McCloud.
Oh, just kidding.
And remember, you can change your PC buddies anytime, like in at the start of a session. Sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe. Yes to Logan, because I know you went out and hunted to help Gretzky. Let's see.
So then that would be where my story fit in with the crocodile, because that was I need to protect
Absolutely.
Serge.
You take one
Yep.
as well.
There you go.
Actually, I'm not going to give you one for this because you're going to get one for the next one.
Yeah.
Melissa, what did you do? Did you get any? And who do you want to keep safe again?
My
Her
brother.
brother.
So that's just.
Wow, let's just bring up
You
that
just
wound.
keep losing XP every week. So Ashley, you get one for your NPC, and you also get one from your big dream. So 2 for Ashley. Ashley, you need to come up with a new big dream now at this point.
Okay.
Since
I'm
you've already
excited.
killed.
Wow.
Okay. So you can, if any of you have reached 5 XP, remember that you can do one of 2 things with it. You can either learn a new talent, or you can raise a skill of your choice by 1 level, but you can't do a specialist skill from another role. So like scavengers can still only do scavenge, hunters can still only do hunt, etc.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So a skill or what? Talent?
Skill or a talent if you hit 5 XP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is that.
Nice.
So let's end the stream. For those that are still around, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for following and coming and seeing us, Chaotic Grandpa. Thanks, Gabe, for being so supportive and making sure that I fix my stuff on screen. Let's see what else we got going. Monday, new episode of Adventures in Lollygagging, our Zweihander Call to Ruin campaign. Catch that anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Catch it on YouTube if you want. We have a YouTube channel. So just search for Adventures in Lollygagging. Next Thursday, we've got our second session of our Ailing Isle adventure over on Zweihander RPG's Twitch channel. So twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG. And then hopefully we'll play again next week. Same time, same bat channel for Genlab Alpha. We would love some followers on the Twitch channel. If you could, that'd be awesome. So thanks for those of you who have already done it. And I think that is all. I think we're going to raid somebody today because I know that. So if you're still here, we're going to raid one of our friends. If I can remember how to do this, which is a big if. So let's see how this goes.
Raid Chuck.
That's what I was going to do. So here we go. Raid is starting.
Oh, thanks Plague State as well for the follow.
Thank you.
Thank you.